and let these people know what beautiful really means.
I've been thinking about the way I see myself in that.
That's right.
Just can't understand why I say all those hurtful things about myself. My insecurities, they don't seem to just go away. And it's so hard for me to understand.
Let me stop. As y'all know, this is Stacy with Dominique Uniquely Beautiful coming back to you once again. As you can see, it's another look. So if you're interested in it and are digging it as much as I am, just keep watching. Okay ladies, we're starting with a fresh face, already washed, primed, and brows already done for time's sake. As you all know, I have a new love for a cut crease, so this is what we're going to be doing today. I've taken Anastasia Beverly Hills, the contour kit, just to use that as a base to form my cut crease. So you want to go ahead and just put it right at the crease of your eye and just enforce it a little bit. And as you're applying it, kind of flick it up a little bit, so then that way it's blending it up and out. Now I'm going to add a similar brow shadow, not only just to seal that contour cream from Anastasia Beverly Hills, but just to enforce the cut crease. Now I'm going out and I'm going to blend it out a little bit more. And now we're going to add a transition color just to buff that out some more. As you can see, once I've applied color, I go back with a blending brush and buff it out. As I go along, I go back and I reinforce my cut crease just in case I buff that out just a little bit too much.
Some confidence, a common but with common sense, quick to help a mama with the groceries and condiments. Doesn't live fast and loves life and gives compliments. Someone who I can ask about life and knows what time it is. Never late to meet me, even though I always am. Give her some sorry excuse, but she always understands. Yeah, she could take me in some sports. Basketball was a thing, but at night she throws some heels on and her love is still the same.
Now I'm going to apply Paint Pot from MAC, and this is also going to help define that line that you developed for your cut crease. And if you made any mistakes or if it wasn't quite perfect, you can fix it at this point. Now you see that I'm going once again back over to enforce my crease. Sometimes I get a little bit happy and go over some, but as you go along you may see that you may want to elongate it or just make it a little bit more, enforce it a little bit more basically. There's no golden rule for the cut crease. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And I think that's kind of part of why I keep doing it. I find different tips and tricks that I like to get the look that I'm looking for. The whole point, ladies, is do the cut crease according to the shape of your eye. Whatever you see someone else doing may not be exactly what works for you unless you have a similar eye shape. Now, as you can see, I'm applying a lighter color from the Morphe matte palette. Morphe Tomato. You know what I'm talking about. I'm just packing that on. And don't worry if you get a little bit outside of the lines. on your lids. You'll be able to clean it up a little bit later. Now I'm blending in the inner corner of my eye just to make sure that it buffs out pretty well. As you can see, I didn't bring my cut crease all the way in. I did a little bit past halfway over right on top of my pupil. Now it's liner time. Who doesn't love a really good wing liner? Now what I will share with you is that what I'm learning with the wing liners is that it's all about the brush. Some people will like a thin brush, some will like more of a stencil. I don't know if I would say a stencil per se, but this one's not a brush. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a pointy felt pen, I guess, in a way. You always want to do your wing out first and then bring it in. I know the video is going a little bit faster just so we're not here all day watching me apply makeup, but you want to do small strokes as you go along, bringing it back into the middle of the eye. And of course you can make it as thick or as thin as you like. Now I'm applying some mascara to prep it for the lashes. We all love lashes. Buffing out a little bit more as I go along. Now we're going to apply lashes. Ladies, always make sure you put a thin layer of glue. I personally use Duo, and I'll list all the products that I use to accomplish this look in the box below, so you'll know what I've used if you choose to purchase it. But apply your glue, a thin layer, and allow it to get tacky. That is the trick that I've learned. If you apply the glue and then just attempt to apply the lashes right after, they'll just kind of slip and slide, and they will not adhere appropriately. Some people use tweezers to apply lashes. I can do both, but I personally prefer to use my fingers. It just makes it easier. I guess because I can actually feel what I'm doing with my hands, while with the tweezers I can't quite feel what I'm doing. Obviously you can tell I'm digging it because it's starting to come together. Next we're going for foundation. What I've shown you is the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation, and I'm having to mix it with my Revlon 24-Hour Foundation because I realized I just pumped the last pump of my Kat Von D. But all is well, we can mix them together. And I'm using a flat foundation brush. I've just found that, you know, using this particular brush just allows me to use less product and gives me still full coverage all over my face and not having to use as much versus when I use a stippler brush. Now don't get me wrong, I really love my stippler brushes. That's how I started applying my liquid foundation, but I kind of like this method easier because my product lasts a lot longer, for one, and two, it doesn't use a lot of product, and I prefer that way. It kind of feels like a second skin. Now I like to just blend that in a little bit with my beauty blender, and it also kind of just removes any excess product that I may not necessarily need, but it blends it in and pushes in the product in the skin. Next it's time to highlight. I absolutely love highlighting, ladies. Obviously I see an area that's not quite blended out to my liking, so as you go along just always pay attention and make sure that it's evenly blended out. You can always go back, not an issue. I am stuck on this cut crease and really make sure that it's defined. Alright, now I'm using the LA Girl Pro concealer. Now for me, ladies, what I have found, I personally have wrinkles underneath my eye, and I used to apply this all the way up to my lash line, but I found if I apply it a little bit below the lash line and not use as much product, that I don't get as much creasing. So when I go to blend with the Beauty Blender, as I said before, it kind of picks up some of the excess product, but allows you to blend it seamlessly and not necessarily have the creasing. So I'm kind of pushing that in there. This really just takes practice, and if you don't have wrinkles underneath your eyes, it's not something you necessarily have to worry about. But for me, I do, so I'm very, very careful on how I do this. Now what you will find, if you put an excess amount of product and apply a lot of powder, it will cause unnecessary creasing early on in the day. Now, at the end of the day, creasing is inevitable, so you can't really avoid it. But my best advice is just to less is more, basically. So once you've applied your highlight, I personally go back and I'll apply Anastasia Cosmetics Buttercup powder underneath, just to set that, and as they say, bake for a little bit. But just so you all know, baking for me, I think is just a little bit overrated. I put a little bit of product and I'll just let that sit there for a little bit. I don't do a whole 25-30 minutes of baking. To me, underneath the eye, that will cause creasing to start soon as well, so I don't let it sit too long. Once I complete my contour, I usually end up wiping it off. Now I'm going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit. And we're going in. Now I usually don't use this, honestly. I usually will just contour with just powder. But I found recently, like, if I really want a prominent contour, to go in with cream first and then go back and seal it with a powder. Makes it last a lot longer. So now we're going in and I'm blending. You gotta blend it, ladies. Blend, 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 blend. Beauty Blender is your friend. You want it to look almost like airbrushed on. You don't want to see any defined lines on your face. If you see it, that means you haven't blended out that well. And if you're in a rush, sometimes you'll miss it, but you can always go back and make sure you blend that out.
Basketball was a thing, but at night she throws some heels on and her love is still the same. Don't need the cover girl or Maybelline, cause maybe I'll lean a little closer to the side of you and her as a queen. And overthrows my life with the sense of humor she brings. I give my life away to hear her sing, to hear her sing.
Okay, so now I'm going to be going in with a little bit more LA Girl Pro Concealer. Sometimes you can go over the highlight that you had already created when you're doing your contour. So I just went back over it a little bit. Now I'm getting ready to go back in and I am going to reinforce my contour with some powder. I'm going to seal that in there. You'll find, I don't know if it's just me, but ladies, when you're doing this, if you're using anything cream on your face, if you do not use the powder to seal that in there, your face will feel really sticky. I used to always do my contour, especially around my nose, and I wear sunglasses and see marks on my nose and not wonder why I have that, but usually it's because I forgot to reinforce with a powder and seal that in there. So make sure you do that. Now we're going to go in with some blush. That was a personalized kit that I made at MAC with select blushes that are my favorite. I think this is Raisin, I'm not sure, but once again, like I said, I'll make sure that I list all the items and the names of the colors that I've used in this video, so you'll know what was used if you choose to purchase. Now I'm kind of buffing that out a little bit. Sometimes I can be a little bit heavy-handed on the blush, so I buff that out. Now I'm going back. Remember I talked about sealing that in. We have put some cream contour here, so I'm going back over it with some powder just to define it a little bit more. Make sure you buff it out. Very, very, very important. Alright, now my new favorite is Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit. Now I'm going to be honest and transparent with you ladies. I always thought that Anastasia Beverly Hills was just, I guess, overkill. You know, everyone was just raving about it. I'm not one of those people to buy the newest thing out. If it works for me, I tend to stick with what I'm already using, but I have to say I have been missing out. I absolutely, absolutely love this Glow Kit. So, with that being said, if you don't have it, go get it. Alright, so we're going to go in with some eyeliner, my waterline. And if you go over a little, ladies, that's what I found that I was doing, went over or past my waterline just a little bit. Don't worry, you'll be able to blend that out with a shadow underneath, so you won't be able to notice it. So now I'm going to go back in with a little bit of the brown that I used in my cut crease, just to blend that out a little bit. This process to me really helps everything come together. I didn't used to be one to put eyeliner at the lower in my waterline. I just used to think it just gave me like raccoon eyes, but apparently it was user error. But all is well, I've got it right now. And I absolutely love it. It really gives my eye that finished touch. Going in with a little bit of mascara. Alright, it's coming together. I'm going to spray with a little bit of finish spray. And I always go back in after I've sprayed with my beauty blender just to kind of push that in a little bit. I didn't do it this time, but that is generally what I do in practice. I find that it just kind of, if you have like big water pellets on your face, if that's what you would call them, but just, you know, areas where if you had large amounts of water on your face, you can blend that in at that time, and it just helps everything sit in. So as you can see, I've applied a brown lip liner, and I'm going with a red lip just to make it pop. It's been a little jazzy today. You can never go wrong with a red lip, ladies. See, I was pushing in one of those water pellets, as I call them. Starting to feel myself a little bit. Got some lipstick on the teeth here. Coming together, ladies. Let's add some gloss. I'm normally a matte lip kind of chick, but I have to say a glossy lip has been my thing here and there lately. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Real cute. Now, wait a minute. Might have to add something here. Alright, let's go in with some hair, ladies. Yes, final touches. I am feeling this. Now, those of you know I recently did another big chop, but I still love to switch it up. And I have to say, this is one of my favorite short pieces here, just to add a bit of color, considering that I'm more of an all black or natural brown kind of girl, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. So if you're interested in this piece here, just keep watching or keep posted for an update video on this piece. You like?
She throws some heels on in her
Yes.
the cover girl of Maybelline, 'cause maybe I'll lean a little closer to the side of you and her as a queen. And overthrows my life with a sense of humor. She
Check out the back and the other side.
I'm so beautiful.